Guys, if you are a subscriber of this channel, I do need to mention that I love you. If you're a subscriber, I absolutely do love you. Sometimes you guys really do give me some very interesting things to go away and research for a video idea. And if you're reading the title of this video, I'm not 100% sure at the moment what I am going to title it, but it's going to be something along the lines of ATNF or 180 Life Sciences. Is this the next short squeeze? And obviously this is not an idea which I came up with by myself if people are asking. This is actually a request of a subscriber. So obviously I ask you guys for video ideas all the time, I ask you what you want to see. And somebody commented the other day talking about the amount of short shares on ATNF. I think it is a very interesting piece of information. We're going to be going over all of this in this video, talking about what could be going on with ATNF and could we have the next short squeeze on our hands. Well, of course, I am not a financial advisor. It's only my personal opinion, guys. Obviously, I do recommend that you watch other people's YouTube channels, read books, obviously read news articles, read websites, and of course, make sure to do your own due diligence in general to learn the most about this stock that you possibly can, so you have a well-rounded view as to what's going on. Just don't take my word as 100% advice, or at least advice at all. Just use it for entertainment alone. But yeah, we're going to start off by looking at ATNF over the past 5 days, and then moving on to some alarming statistics which really did catch my attention. So yeah, we're going to start off by looking at the past day or so. From 9:30 up until now, well, we are seeing a big decrease in price for ATNF. Down by 32%. This sounds atrocious, this sounds awful, but if we look at how this one was moving, both in comparison to previous close and of course in comparison to the morning, we can see that a lot has probably gone on after hours. So again, previous close was a bit lower than where we are today, which is good, so we are still finishing up for the day technically, and again we are seeing this big spike here from 16 to 9:30, so again this does show a lot of after hours action, up by about 67% in that time, so real big gains that we are seeing. And again, if you'd have bought this one only yesterday morning and held until now, you'd have been up by about 37%. So real decent gains that we are seeing with ATNF, even considering that sell-off. The past month, well, it is bringing a lot of action indeed, up by 47%, 48% rather, and a lot of that is coming from this big growth that we are seeing in the past 2 or 3 days. Again, if we take that growth away, we can see that the share price is only up by about 9-10%, and of course just adding that on just shows how much we are up in the past few days. Now, ATNF has been a stock which has been moving in a very interesting pattern. I was about to say pattern and manner at the same time. Yeah, it's been moving in a very interesting manner in the past few weeks. Again, looking at this one from January up until now, we are going up pretty stably, up by about 154% from January, which is good. That's very good indeed. But again, one thing that I did find out when I went away to Google this one, as a subscriber did request, looking at Fintel, which is fintel.io, we can have a quick look at ATNF, as you can see. So fintel.io, obviously /ATNF. We can see a lot about the short interest. So again, market volume is apparently 917,900. Short volume ratio is 17%. Really interesting stuff there. Really interesting. In fact, I can't even stress how interesting this is. And a lot of you people are going to be asking, why is this so interesting to you? Well, if we look over to a few of our other stocks which we have seen in this similar territory, we have the stock called AMC. You've probably heard of this one. It's kind of like GME. It's not moved as much, but there we go. Short volume ratio to this is 21%. So again, that is only about 4% more than ATNF. Quite interesting to see, it really is. Again, if we look over to GME, and of course GME was a big one. Everybody knows this one. Short interest for this one is a quarter of all volume ratio. So again, that's 25% that we are seeing. So what am I trying to say here? I think it is very interesting, as a subscriber did note, that ATNF has about 17% short shares, GME has about 25, and obviously AMC has about 20. So that is really interesting to me. I think people are asking the question, is this the next short squeeze? Well, I think the answer at the moment is no. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the answer is no forever. In this market, it's extremely hard to predict what's going to happen next. We've seen unprecedented things happen all the time. Look at the whole AMC GME situation. It was really hard to predict. No one could have ever seen this one coming, but there we go. But what we are seeing with this stock, especially in the past 2 or 3 days, and this is something which has caught my attention, especially today, and it is a purpose for making this video, is volume for the stock. So let me give you a full basic rundown of what volume normally is for the stock. And we're going to start off with a simple definition of volume. Volume, for those of you who don't know, I assume that most of you do, and I know this might sound a bit patronising, but of course some people on the channel are new to investing. So yeah, volume is basically the amount of shares which is traded. Now we can look at volume on the 1 week basis, see how many people are buying and selling throughout the week. We can look at volume on the 1 hour basis. In this one, we are looking at the 1 day basis. I think it gives us a basic perspective on what is going on with this stock in the past few days. And again, if we're looking from these highs up here when we were seeing a lot of motion, we can see volume down here of about 2 million, 1 million. Again, stepping up down here to the 4 million range, up to 1 million, 2 million. You can see volume pretty low. And in this area here where it was going down, volume was only in the few hundreds of thousands. Volume here about 600,000, about 1 million down here. You can see obviously volume is quite low. And even when it does step up, it's only to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million, which is still big, don't get me wrong, it really is. But again, looking at volume in that period compared to volume over the past 2 or 3 days, well, what do I have to tell you guys? Looking at volume yesterday, we have a volume of about 400k. Not too big, not too bad either. But volume today really stepped itself up. According to Yahoo Finance, we can see volume today was about 43.54 million. 43.54 million. And again, this is massive to me. In my opinion, this is massive. Looking at how this one has been moving previously, as I have mentioned, just to show how big this is, obviously 1 million move here on a big green day, this big candle here bringing about 2 million, and today 43 million. Can I just take a moment to talk about how impressive that is? So people who are saying that this is the next short squeeze, it's hard to, I do think it is hard to say. I think it's too early to say. I definitely think it is. Obviously, the amount of short shares is a high number. I think this one does have potential to become the next hype stock for sure, based on that short squeeze. Whether we actually go as high as a short squeeze, it is hard to say. But obviously, volume has stepped itself up massively today. Honestly, it looks like the chart's glitching. But again, the Google charts do back this one up. Atnf rocketing in the morning. So yeah, volume really stepping itself up in the past day or so. So really amazing. Again, if this does continue, who knows, we could have the next short squeeze stock on the horizon. But in the past 2 or 3 days, as this person did highlight to me, I didn't think it was going to, short squeeze. I still do believe it's hard to say, but I think the credentials are more on the table now than they previously were, especially after today, or at least yesterday evening, where we were seeing this massive candle to the upside. So again, this story does actually conclude for now, for the next 2 or 3 days, because it is the weekend, Friday night, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Hope you're all partying. Of course, it's lockdown in many places, so I assume that you're not. But yeah, because it's a weekend, not much is going on at all, so we'll have to see what happens on Monday when the markets do open back up. But honestly, I hope things are wonderful going into Monday, and if we can see this volume continue, well, we'll be in a very interesting position. Again, I'll be updating you as things do move, so do drop me a comment down below telling me what you want to see. Again, also tell me your opinions on Atnf. What do you think is going on with this stock at the moment? I want to hear all that you have to say, so please do drop it down below. See you very soon. Goodbye until then.